she suffers from such a rare disorder of being unable to just be a human. Meghan Markle, people have been wondering what it is that she's going to do, because when she first did her Spotify series, and I think that deal was $25 million, Spotify lived to regret it immediately. It was breathy. It was awful.
Yeah.
I just think she's crying for sympathy, playing the victim.
Oh my gosh, I work so hard.
And there's also no sympathy to be granted for this lifestyle that she's chosen to live.
I appreciate what hard work looks like. I like working hard.
Well, according to their tax documents, they work 1 hour a week.
I think she's a malignant narcissist who is a truly terrible person.
I know.
Yeah.
I know.
After taking a break from taking a break, I guess, Meghan Markle is back, and she has released a new Netflix trailer. Now, just to give you the background of this, if you're wondering why she's doing this, it's because she kind of sold her soul to the devil. Obviously, she's always wanted to be an A-list actress. She never wanted to be a princess. I called that from the very beginning. She wanted to be amongst the A-list because that was her life goal.
I love being that busy.
Make it end. Make it end. What is this?
You're never going to convince anyone that you're authentic.
You're right. You're right.
Reality is she's a grifter. Fake it till you make it.
The Brits are onto you. America's onto you. The world at large is onto you.
I'm searching for something to like about her, and it's so hard.
It's too much for me. There's only small doses of that podcast I can consume.
Meghan, how are you?
How are you?
I know you always make it about me.
Everything they do seems so manipulative, calculated, PR motivated, money motivated.
You know, she wasn't a very good actress, and so she figured out how to maneuver that by marrying a prince who, the only way to say it is he's just not as intelligent as her. He's not reading it, and he has been subjected to her manipulation. And I do also want to say this because it's really important of why their story became so big, and you know, her using the Black Lives Matter movement, which was very big at that time before people start to understand. So ignorant. It's just the height of ignorance to me to have this D-list actress that nobody knew go over there. Not her race is not discernible by the eye. If she walked in, you would never say Meghan Markle is a black woman.
Thought your analysis of this book was spot on. You've called Harry despicable for trying to trash the royal family's reputation and dragging them below even what the Kardashians would get up to.
And for her, Harry was just an entry ticket into all of those circles. Unfortunately, she found someone. She's not very intelligent. She's not very talented. Nobody in America was watching Suits. She was an actress that was living in Canada. And fortunately for her, and credit to her, she found someone that is dumber than her. And that's the
As her son, who, if you've seen a picture of, and you think that he has faced anti-black racism in his life, then I'm a Nigerian prince, and I have, you know, an account that you can give, you can send some money into.
Give us like one strip of authenticity.
Have you ever wondered if the authenticity we crave in our celebrities is just an illusion? In the swirling maelstrom of celebrity culture, few debates are as polarizing as the one surrounding Meghan Markle. A beloved figure, a former royal, and now, according to some critics, the poster child for a carefully constructed performance. Recently, the conversation has been set ablaze by none other than Candace Owens, who has delivered a scathing critique of Meghan's most recent move. Today, we're diving into a story packed with explosive revelations, unexpected controversies, and more questions than answers.
Oh, I don't know. I wasn't expecting that one. This is why it's so nice to not have makeup on.
Also is pretending like she's crying. Like, we zoomed in just to see there isn't a tear in sight. Look at this. Where's the tear?
Able to just be a human. I've never seen this sort of. I've never seen someone that struggles to just give us like one strip of authenticity.
It is a joke, and I'm tired of some of these media outlets continuing to elevate this person.
Not too long ago, Meghan Markle stepped into the spotlight on Jamie Kern-Lima's podcast. The anticipation was palpable. Viewers tuned in expecting to witness an unfiltered, raw revelation of a woman whose life had been mired in both hardship and glamour. The promise was simple yet captivating. No makeup, no script, just raw vulnerability. For many, this was a rare opportunity to see behind the curtain of celebrity, a challenging, honest portrayal that would supposedly strip away the layers of PR and mystique. However, the moment the interview aired, a chorus of skepticism arose. Was this really the genuine article, or merely another well-orchestrated public relations move?
I don't think it has a chance of surviving. I think if there's any justice, it's going to, just sink quickly, and Netflix will move on to the next best thing. Meghan Markle to the TV industry, it's lowering the values, it's lowering the brand of Netflix, and it's wasting all of our time.
The woman who destroyed her in-laws' family, whose own family doesn't like her, whose the in-laws obviously don't like her, the public doesn't like her, she seems to be one of the more vindictive, sort of nasty figures in public life. What's the title of her show? Love Meghan. For what? To watch? Who wants to watch Meghan Markle bake a pie?
That's why a lot of these celebrities that start these things, they can't keep up. You know, like the Meghan Markles.
But you're the same.
You're the same.
Like, I know.
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah.
I knew her a bit before she met Harry. She was nothing like that. She didn't speak like that. Her mannerisms weren't like that. This is all fake.
Candace Owens didn't hesitate for a minute. With piercing candor, she fired off her criticism, arguing that Meghan's display on the podcast was far from authentic. In her view, the moments of apparent vulnerability, teary-eyed readings, soft-spoken confessions, even the celebrated no makeup moment fell flat because they seemed too perfectly rehearsed. She craves the spotlight, Owens asserted, leaving no doubt that, in her opinion, Meghan's persona was nothing but an elaborate act. The language was strong, the tone unapologetically blunt, and the reaction swift. Social media quickly erupted with heated debates, with fans and critics alike taking sides. But was this just another case of a celebrity performance being misunderstood? Or was there substance behind the venom?
Enough for Bill Simmons over at the Ringer podcast, which was acquired by Spotify, to call Harry and Meghan, quote, a fucking grifter on his latest podcast. Here's what he had to say.
I wish I had been involved in the Meghan and Harry leave Spotify negotiation. The grifters. That's the podcast we should have launched with them.
You know, Meghan's podcast has fallen off the charts. She's been criticized for the content. There are rumors that her As Ever launch wasn't as successful as she considered it. Critically, With Love Meghan was not a success.
She had the hair blown out. It was perfect. I do not believe that she was makeup free there. She didn't have eye makeup on, which is a different thing.
The drama didn't stop at the podcast. The ripples from that controversial moment soon reached another colossal venture. Netflix. Yes. Despite the tidal wave of criticism, Netflix has decided to forge ahead with a lifestyle project, famously titled With Love, Meghan. The series, already in production for 2 full seasons, remains on track to release a second installment. Now, one can't help but wonder, in an era where authenticity is currency, what does it say about Meghan's brand that a powerhouse like Netflix stands by a project receiving eye-roll reviews and mixed reactions from an engaged audience? It's a bold choice by the streaming giant, and one that only adds another layer of complexity to a narrative already teetering on the edge of divisiveness.
She suffers from such a rare disorder of being unable to just be a human. Do you know what I mean?
You will never convince America. The Brits are onto you. America's onto you. The world at large is onto you. You're never going to convince anyone that you're authentic.
Oh, I don't know. I wasn't expecting that one. This is why it's so nice to not have makeup on.
And if that wasn't enough to fuel the fire, another unexpected twist emerged. A seemingly offbeat yet dramatic product endorsement controversy. In one particularly eyebrow-raising incident, Meghan's foray into DIY lifestyle products backfired spectacularly. A bath salt recipe featured on the same platform as her other projects spiraled into legal turmoil when Robin Patrick, a woman from Maryland, came forward claiming that the product caused her severe burns and ulcers. But for someone with underlying health issues, including diabetes, the supposed remedy turned into a potential hazard. With a lawsuit looming, a jaw-dropping claim of $10 million 0 cents against Meghan, Netflix, and her partner Archewell, the episode left many questioning whether this was just an isolated misstep or part of a larger trend of mismanaged venture.
How do you be a mother? Oh, I know. You go crying about how much you love your kids.
She simultaneously plays the victim. My castle's too small. Yeah. The queen is mean to me. They won't let me call myself Her Royal Highness anymore. She is a malignant narcissist who cannot get enough of herself.
Beyond the immediate controversies, what truly captivates the conversation is the glaring inconsistency in Meghan Markle's public persona. On one hand, you have a narrative steeped in notions of overcoming adversity, a story of heroic struggle emerging from humble beginnings. On the other, there is the lavish lifestyle of a modern celebrity whose every move is under intense scrutiny. Critics argue that this disconnect is too vast to ignore. They contend that Meghan's carefully woven image of a relatable girl next door sharply contrasts with a life of privilege that seems to insulate her from the everyday challenges faced by ordinary people. This perceived disparity has sparked a broader debate. Is Meghan's authenticity, or lack thereof, simply an inevitable byproduct of her celebrity status?
I mean, this is all a stage. This is all just Meghan Markle's stage. We're expected to buy it.
If you don't like her, it's not your fault. It's because she's extremely unlikable, okay? She has the non-it factor. He wants us to believe that she went from being a D-list actress to becoming Martha Stewart in 3 years. Like, this is totally authentic.
The controversy deepens when we consider her business ventures. High-profile deals like her much-hyped Spotify series, once lauded as the future of inspirational podcasts, quickly fell from grace and were widely panned as shallow and forgettable. Then there's the Netflix project. Despite its ambitious promises, it was met with eye rolls and critiques calling it an overpriced, overcooked attempt at public rebranding. To many, these ventures are less about genuine talent and more about spinning a narrative that casts Meghan as a relatable, struggling figure, even as her reality seems to scream opulence and privilege. The clash between her public statements about personal struggle and her undeniable luxurious lifestyle reinforces an uncomfortable question. When every move seems meticulously planned for maximum public impact, where is the room for genuine spontaneity?
I think I understand why it is she was a D-list actress, because she can't even act like herself.
The one thing she is dying to sell to us is relatability, and she can't get it across the finish line. This is why she was never going to be more than like a D-list actress on a basic cable show.
One of the most striking aspects of the ongoing debate revolves around the moments when Meghan appears to be at her most vulnerable. Think back to that podcast moment when she read a deeply personal letter to her children, her voice breaking as she wiped away tears. For some, it was an emotional, soul-bearing glimpse into the challenges of balancing motherhood and responsibility. But for others, it was a carefully choreographed scene, too precise, too neat, leaving little room for unguarded authenticity. Coupled with the over-the-top adulation from her host, Jamie Kern-Lima, who responded with continuous, almost rehearsed praise, the interview ended up feeling less like a candid conversation and more like a polished production. In an age where genuine emotion is both highly valued and frequently scrutinized, even the smallest hint of overproduction can unravel an entire narrative.
She's stuck because she was an actress who became a real princess, who wants to be an actress again, but has to continue to pretend to be a real princess.
Here she just talks about just what a incredible work ethic she has.
Writing the newsletters and writing the social media captions. What's the photography that we want to do? What do I want to wear for those shoots? And being a mom and a wife and a friend.
Work ethic must just be grueling. Writing social media captions, deciding what she's going to wear, being a mom.
One of the most privileged people on the planet, she still won't talk about how hardworking she is, which includes coming up with Instagram captions.
Taking a step back, what we're witnessing isn't just the fallout from one interview or one controversial product. It's part of an ongoing saga that has, over time, turned Meghan Markle into a lightning rod for criticism. Every public appearance, every business venture, every carefully crafted moment is dissected, analyzed, and debated by a fiercely engaged audience. The overarching question remains, has Meghan mastered the art of performance to such a degree that her true self gets lost in all the layers of public relations? Or is it possible that in our hyper-connected, always watching world, no one can truly escape the burden of expectation and remain authentic?
You never hear other real leaders talking about how hard they work. You just see it in their actions. But for Meghan Markle, of course, she's the exception.
She said she was in the trenches when she was in the British royal family. Girl, you lived in a castle. Like, you got a princess title. Well, according to their tax documents, they work 1 hour a week.
The answers aren't entirely clear. What is abundantly evident, however, is that Meghan Markle's career is now a case study in the collision of image and reality. Industry critics, social media commentators, and even casual viewers are all forced to confront the uncomfortable possibility that what appears on screen might not always be the truth. For some, Meghan's ongoing narrative is a cautionary tale, a vivid illustration of how a carefully constructed image can backfire when the public senses the truth beneath the surface. For others, it's simply the price of fame, relentless scrutiny in a world where every nuance is blown up and examined for authenticity.
He first did her Spotify series, and I think that deal was $25 million. Spotify lived to regret it immediately. It was breathy. It was awful. I listened to one episode. It was just scripted nonsense. It was like, what are you doing? Spotify, I think, ended up canceling the rest of their deal. There was no use. There was no money in it.
The reason it's failing is because it was just a horribly dull show.
As the debate extends beyond just Meghan herself, it touches on a broader cultural phenomenon where public figures are expected to reveal their real selves, even as their entire livelihood rests on maintaining a polished, believable persona. In a way, the controversy surrounding Meghan is a mirror, reflecting our own desire for authenticity in an age where digital images and curated content dominate. With each new controversy, from the podcast to Netflix, from failed business ventures to legal tangles, the gap between public expectation and the manufactured reality of celebrity deepens.
She is shameless and she is exhausting. You are not a successful female entrepreneur. I can list more fails on both of my hands. Where's American Riviera Orchard? What happened to Spotify? You sold inventory that you didn't have on asever.com. People are still waiting for their refunds when the reality is she's a grifter.
As we sift through these layers, questions abound. Is Meghan Markle really trying to show us who she is? Or is she merely playing a role that the public has come to expect? And if it's just a performance, how can we ever know where the act ends and the real person begins? For critics like Candace Owens, the answer is painfully obvious. Meghan's entire narrative is a calculated strategy, designed to capture attention, deflect criticism, and ultimately sell a brand. But the conversation is far from one-sided. Many supporters argue that the pressures of public life force even the most genuine individuals to adopt personas that help them navigate relentless media scrutiny.
Over it. She's not important. She married for money. It's very clear. She bagged the elephant. She was thrilled. She became a, quote, princess.
Why do we have to be nice for a woman who clearly went over to get herself a prince, to bring him back, to give her access to this lifestyle that she would have never had?
This makes her look greedy and shallow. And I think she's showing us exactly who she is and what her ultimate objective was all along.
You in love now more than ever?
Are you in love? How happy and beautiful is your husband?
In the end, this isn't just a story about a single podcast, a misguided product line, or even a controversial Netflix series. It's a story about modern celebrity itself, a landscape where every smile, tear, and whispered confession is suspect. It raises the age-old question, can anyone truly remain authentic when every move is under the unyielding lens of public scrutiny? Or have we all, in one way or another, become actors in a never-ending drama played out on screens large and small?
Meghan, how are you?
How are you?
I know you always make it about me.
I know.
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah.
So where do we go from here? Perhaps the most intriguing part of this saga is the open-ended nature of the questions it raises. Is Meghan Markle simply a master of performance, adeptly navigating the treacherous waters of fame, or is she a victim of a cynical industry that demands a facade at every turn? And crucially, what does it mean for us as viewers when the lines between the real and the manufactured blur so completely? As we wrap up this deep dive into the controversies surrounding Meghan Markle, the debate remains as vibrant as ever. What seems like candid vulnerability might just be another chapter in a carefully scripted narrative. The truth, as it often is, might lie somewhere in between. One thing is certain, though, the conversation isn't slowing down anytime soon. In today's world of social media, instant reactions, and viral headlines, every whispered secret or alleged misstep is sure to ignite a firestorm of opinions. Now, I'd love to know what you think. Is Meghan's story a tragic performance of carefully curated authenticity? Or can we believe there's a genuine person hidden beneath all the spectacle? Drop your thoughts in the comments and join the debate. Because in the end, your perspective might be the missing piece we're all trying to figure out.